Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the 90. I am joined by Lewis. How are you from the BluesFansTV? How are you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How are you?
Well, not as good after the 1-0 loss, but yeah, just coming to that, we've lost 1-0 to the FA Cup to Chelsea. What are your thoughts on the match?
Um, we grew more and more into the game as it progressed, and I feel like that's been a bit of a recurring factor for Chelsea in recent games. First off, we started very poorly, and it wouldn't have been a surprise if you went 1-0 or maybe 2-0 up or capitalised on it. I think we were really lucky to go in at half time 0-0. Second half, the substitutions from Frank Lampard completely changed the tone of the game. We started to grow a bit more and more into the game, but still, a game could have gone either way. It was a good ball from Willian to get to Barkley to make it 1-0, but same way there could have been a good ball through to Vardy and he could have made it 1-0. It really could have just gone either way.
Yeah, that's something that we're having the issue at the moment is feeding Vardy. Madison injured, and it was just we just didn't look like we were on the ball at all today. So I just one of the players I wanted to take who was mentioned that you're taking off at half time was Billy Gilmour. So obviously he had rave reviews when he came on against Liverpool, and he didn't quite hit the same levels today. What were your thoughts on his performance, and also do you think he's the future of Chelsea in that position?
Oh yeah, he's definitely the future for Chelsea, and we saw glimpses of it today. I mean, granted, it wasn't the same Billy Gilmour from Liverpool or Everton, but Billy Gilmour set a very high ceiling for himself for those two games. I think people are being harsh if they say that he's poor or we've overhyped him a little bit just off this game. First off, he was playing in a completely different position. We played him in a number 6 in both of those games, and we put him in a number 8 for this time. We wanted him to be a bit more of a ball carrier, and you saw glimpses of it, but I do think he struggled. I think your midfield offered him something completely different in terms of a challenge. And he struggled at times, but I don't want to say he had a poor game because I see him and I could still see what he was trying to do at most parts. His vision was very good. He was keeping his head up a lot. He got unlucky with the passes sometimes. I think Leicester were trying to isolate him a little bit more towards the end of the first half. But we were asking a completely different role of him than the first two games. And the first two games were just completely different. I'm thinking a lot of people are going to say they don't want to see him play in that position now just based off that performance. But I think Billy Gilmour has what it takes to still be able to progress in that position. I think it's just people need to give Leicester a bit more credit because you lot have broken the top 6 this season. And there's a reason why you've been third for so long. We may be creeping up on you right now, but that's only because of you guys' drop in form. Like, there's a reason you guys were that high up to begin with. And I'm sure statistically, there was a point this season where you were playing better than you were in 15-16. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. Is it correct?
Yeah, so about December onwards, we seem to have played like at a consistent level. We got the 9-0 against Southampton. And then after Christmas time, when all them results started to pile in, we got like a 9-0 defeat to a 3-1 defeat to Man City, 4-0 defeat to Liverpool. I don't know if that knocked our confidence or it was just the amount of training that they're doing. We just seem to just slump down and down and down. I'm saying we've not slumped too much, but just the level. Same thing you were saying with Billy Gilmour. The level we set at the beginning of the season was so high, it was going to be so hard to live up to. And I think it's a kind of thing. I've spoke with a couple of Liverpool fans about it, and they were just like, it's just the same thing that happened when they nearly won the league. So hopefully we're going to get top 4, but we'll have to see. Just coming back to that, so who do you think will get the top 4 this season? Obviously, we know Liverpool's won it and Man City is second. Who do you think is going to get the next 2 places?
I don't see any reason why the top 4 changes, if I'm being honest. Like, United, I'm not even going to joke about it. They are looking like they're getting stronger. But still in some phase, I think it's a bit too much to ask for. I don't think Chelsea are going to drop off. I don't see how you guys could drop off. I think that would be a huge collapse if you guys did it. Manchester United are going to threaten Chelsea and Leicester. They're going to scare them a little bit. But I'll use the Norwich game as an example. They're growing, but they're still not there yet, if we're being honest. Even the 3-0 win against Bournemouth, I mean, I get it, Martial had a great game, but you still have players like Rashford missing 2 open chances. I'm thinking they're just getting there, but they're not there yet. I'd be surprised if I see them make top 4 this season.
Fair enough. I think that's a good prediction. I'm hoping that we can stay in. I've got a feeling that you guys will overtake us because we're only a point away. and I can see us dropping more points, and you guys are on a right winning streak at the moment. So just to come on to it, but man of the match, BBC gave Ross Barkley. Would you agree with that?
I was surprised by that. I was very surprised by that. I think Barkley was in a good position for the first goal, but I don't know what it is with Barkley because I thought he still missed a good amount of counter attacks, and I think half of 3 crosses in the second half went straight to Soyuncu. Like, the thing with Barkley is you can see what he's trying to do half the time. It never really seems to fully get off half the time. If some of the counter attacks, I'm thinking if he just had a bit more vision, if he just had a bit better decision making, if he noticed the player on the other side of him, maybe he'd have a much better performance. But me personally, if I'm looking at man of the matches, I'd go maybe Kovacic or Azpilicueta. I think it's fair that you could give any of the 3 substitutes. And personally, Willian as well. I'd put Willian out there as well for potential man of the match. But out of those 4, Ross Barkley, I think, is the last one I'd give because I still don't think his performance was there. I think his goal just makes it look like he had a much better performance than he really did.
Yeah, I agree. I think that BBC and like Sky, when we had Ben Chilwell in the Watford game, he had not a great game. Then he scored a worldie, and then all of a sudden he gets man of the match. You're going, well, yes, it changed the game, but it's not. It's about just the goal. It's about everything else. So just staying on the top.
Chilwell as well because we've been interested in him the entire season.
That's what I was going to say. So what are your? So obviously there's a load of rumors going around about him at the moment. So as a Chelsea fan, is it somebody that you want in your squad? Is it this kind of the ambition that you want to take Chelsea to the next level? Because you guys are going to be spending big from the looks of it.
Not at the price you're trying to put him at. That's for sure. Because I looked at the game today and just looks like a slightly better Alonso, if I'm being honest, which I mean isn't going to be anything bad. He's very good going forward and he's a lot quicker and he's got better athleticism, but they have the same qualities that I say that in a good way and I say that in a bad way. I think him coming back from an attack and I think him on the turn as well, not as good as he is going forward. Going forward, I'm not going to say anything. He's great going forward, but defensively, I'm not so sure about. And I'm thinking for 60 or 70 million that you guys are asking for, I want to see Ashley Cole, or I want to see a regen of Ashley Cole for that sort of numbers. I can't say that about Chilwell. I respect the fact that Lampard and Ashley Cole as well, in fact, have given him good credit and they think he'd be a great addition to the squad. And I'm not even saying he wouldn't be, but for 60, 70 million, there's got to be better. There's got to be better options.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think he's actually worth that much. I'd say maximum, said 40 mil. But what it is with our squad is that with our owners is they got carried away with Maguire. Maguire is not an 80 million pound defender, but Man United had an 80 million pound hole in their defence, and he just slotted in brilliantly because they needed an English defender in, and he did the job brilliantly. Again, not worth it. So we've got a good price upon things, but also it works in our negative as well. So when we sold Maguire, and we went to look at Nathan Ake, James Tarkowski, and all the other English clubs the other Premier League clubs went, well, we know you got 80 million. He's worth 60. And we go, we ain't paying that.
75 million for Ake or something like that.
So, yeah.
Football's gone crazy these days.
Well, what it was is that if you want to, it's the same thing that we did to Man United. You want a whole, if you want this player, this is how much it costs. Regardless for how much you actually think he's worth, you will pay this amount. If not, then you don't have him. And we didn't need to sell Maguire. But yeah, I think
a lot more to you, don't it?
Sorry?
Because those players mean a lot more to you. Because at that point, you're still trying to find a way to break the top 6. I mean, you've done it now, but you were still in the progress of doing that a year ago.
Yeah, and we were just trying to build up the levels, just one from one. So, yeah, just going back to the game against Chelsea, do you think you guys can go all the way and Frank Lampard get a trophy in his first season with the FA Cup?
I'd love to. I mean, honestly, this season, that's all I've wanted is top 4 in a trophy because I appreciate how young our squad is and how inexperienced our squad is. And I look back to 04-05 when we won the Carling Cup and the impact that Jose Mourinho said it had on the young players that he had back in those times, your Frank Lampards, your John Terrys, who haven't really experienced success that much. You want to get them into the speed of things and get them to have a feel of what it feels like to win a trophy for Chelsea. I was hoping we'd win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. Obviously, you're pushing a little bit if you say the Champions League or the Premier League, so I want to leave that for now. I'm just happy with top 4. But if you give them the FA Cup or a Carabao Cup, a nice little domestic trophy, they get a feel of what it feels like to win trophies. You start getting that hunger for more. That's what I want to see. That's why I really want to see us progress in this trophy. I get that we got Manchester United and they've smoked us all season, but there's ever any time to do it, and all Chelsea have really done is exceeded expectations this season. So why not do it again?
No, it sounds good, and you guys got the squad for it as well with not many games. Are you guys? I can't remember. Are you guys still in Europe at the moment?
3-0 down to Bayern, but yeah, let's say we're still in Europe.
Fair enough. That's still good. So just on a separate note, or similar note, when you talk about Frank Lampard, is he the long-term replacement, do you think, that Chelsea's been looking for?
Yes. And do you know how much I love? I was a bit on the edge with him when he first joined because I'm still thinking we went from Maurizio Sarri, who's like a possession-based genius, to guys that 1 year at Derby. I don't want to say nothing because it's Frank Lampard, but he just continues to exceed expectations, and the guy is so smart. I mean, everyone talks about his football. I mean, his IQ and how smart he is intelligently, and all the degrees that he's got as a child growing up. The guy's really smart. Like, you can just get it from his press conferences and his man management as well. We spoke about in the fan cam on my channel. I was talking about how he's impacted Christensen, how he's impacted Pulisic, and how he's developed their games, how he's developed the connection between the board and the team again, which is something that completely broke down under Antonio Conte. The way he's connected the fans and the club again, when last season fans were arguing and fighting over Sarri in or Sarri out. You'd be getting stick from fans if they saw you walking it around in a Jorginho shirt or something like that. So the whole club, everything just looks like it's on the up. Everything looks like it's on the rise. And Frank Lampard's been talking about a 3-year plan. And as far as it goes, everything's been implemented to an excellent standard. He said this season was all just about stabilizing and transitioning and potentially clearing out any of the deadwood, and it's happening. Next season was about reinforcing the areas that need to be enforced, and then hopefully progressing for titles. And look what we've already been doing. We've got what's his name, Hakim Ziyech in. We've got Timo Werner in. We're potentially looking at a left back and a centre back. That looks like it's going to be happening. Maybe third year is where he says he wants to win those trophies. Right now, it looks like I'd quietly say maybe second season we could do something. Guy's exceeding himself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, looking at your bench and even today was just amazing, and seeing the quality that you had and the fact that you'll turn that over and bring it in a new era. So just coming back to like a Leicester perspective, when we won the league, obviously it was like everybody was on a high from then, but it was an aging squad. And it feels like the same thing's happening with Chelsea. Now we've got a new manager in Brendan Rodgers, different philosophy, trying to play more possession-based football and hit them on the counter. But all of the old players like your Wes Morgans, your Robert Hoos, your Danny Simpsons are all slowly one by one just leaving the club, and these new players are coming in from the youth. So I feel like there's a lot of similarities between Chelsea and Leicester in that aspect.
Yeah, both of us have, I would say, transitioning, but I feel like you've been more of an upwards. You've been going more upwards than we have in recent years. Like we had that big high when we won the league 16-17, and then we dropped to 5th place. Granted, we still won the FA Cup, and no one at Chelsea was looking at that as a good season. Last season, we got third, and we really don't know how we got third. It was the deadest top 4 race in history. We crawled up to third with, I think, 1 win in a month, because we were just drawing every game and all of our opposition were just losing every match. So we were weirdly gaining ground on everybody. So it's weird, but that's what I like about Chelsea. This was meant to be our banter period, and we've still got a Europa League and an FA Cup to show for it. So I don't even want to complain too much, but it is very similar with both of our guys that we are both on the rise now, but I think you guys have been on a much more upward trajectory than we have.
It's still Rodgers' first season, even though he came in about February of last year. It's his first full season, same with Frank. So we're still having that period of adjustment and seeing what's happening with the squad and stuff. But yeah, we'll see next season. Obviously, you guys are in a stronger position. It looks like you're really strengthening in that position with Ziyech, as you were saying, Ziyech and Werner coming in. Who else would you like to see, like, as an ambitious target for Frank to come in and secure going forward?
I really want to say Kai Havertz for this because we've been linked with him, but we need defensive solidity first. I want to see us go for a left back, but that Chilwell price is not nice. I don't like that price tag. A centre back or a left back, both preferably, because I'll be real. I've said the entire season I will just take anybody at left back because Marcus Alonso is more of a left wing back, and Emerson's never been able to hold that position down for too long. So we need a left back regardless. I just want someone with quality in that position so I can feel more comfortable with that side. Centre back, you just need one player for experience. I'd like to look at a Koulibaly. I think he'd have like the Van Dijk effect that you see at Liverpool, where Chelsea's defence is okay, but there's holes in it. And then you bring in a baller of a centre back that just completely shuts it down, has a leadership with Azpilicueta to maintain that back line. That I think is potentially means more to us than another attacker. Maybe I'd look at Thiago Silva for 1 year for the experience because he has the experience to show for it, and we only just need that one centre back. But someone in the defence. We don't need a right back. We just need a left back or a centre back.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I know what you mean by the Liverpool thing, where you just get that one person in that position, because that happened to Maguire first year. Him and Morgan just formed this amazing partnership, and like you've got today, where we've got, and when you have a centre back like that, in the same way that you had John Terry, we've got like a Johnny Evans, where you trust him, you know what you're doing, and he just plays the ball effortlessly, and it makes the whole game, like you were saying today, it makes our defensiveness just look that much better. So yeah, I'd like to thank you, Lewis, for coming on today. Where can people find you?
Yeah, if you guys want to see more of me, don't forget to check out BluesFansTV and my personal channel, Carefree Lewis G, on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Yeah, Instagram and Snapchat as well. Check us all out on all of our socials. And yeah, just check us out for any of the best Chelsea content on YouTube.
Brilliant. Yeah, then I'll have a link in the description for all that information. So yeah, Lewis, has been brilliant having you on once again. I'll brilliant have you on, and hopefully when this lockdown's over and you're down in Leicester, we'll meet up sometime.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be good to meet up for a nice little preview or review. Nice to see Leicester as well. I've heard it's a good night out.
You can't compare it to London though. That's like I lived in London for a bit. It's not there, but it's all right for now. We'll go. We'll see. Have a good time. Anyway, brilliant. Make sure you like, subscribe, and everything, and we'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.